What's up, guys? DrJeremyLandry with Kansas City Laser-Like Lipo. I'm going to talk about making excuses today. And I've been thinking about doing this video for a while, trying to find a loving way of approaching this. And I'll be straight with you, I don't sugarcoat things. I always joke around and say I'm not Willy Wonka. I do not sugarcoat things. I'm here to be effective. I want to deliver great information. I really want to help people. And sometimes you got to be pretty blunt to do that. So there might be some people watching this that get a little offended or maybe really, really offended. I have no idea. Maybe you'll like this. But I want to talk about making excuses today. And approaching this topic, I always think about one of my really good friends and mentors. He's the CEO of a big company, travels the country talking with doctors, different types of physicians, naturopaths, nurses, MDs. I mean, he's a pretty awesome guy. And one of the things that he teaches is when he's at a seminar, he'll say that little voice in your head. He's like, you have to kill yourself. And he's like, let me explain. He's like, I don't want you to really kill yourself, but he's like, let me explain. That little voice that you hear in your head, that's not really you, okay? There's this voice, and you probably know what I'm talking about, that typically tries to hold you back in life. Let's say you have an opportunity to try something new. Maybe it's, to advance in your career, but there's just this little voice. It's like, no, you don't have time. You're super busy. You have, 19 kids and counting, and you have 3 jobs, and, it's just really not a good fit for you, and you're going to feel uncomfortable, and it's going to be awkward, or it could be anything in life. But there's that voice that just really tries to keep us inside of our little bubble. It's our little comfort bubble. We're all nice and cozy in there. I don't want to get outside that bubble because I'm just not going to feel good, and it's going to be weird. But that voice in your head, it's not really you. It's a voice that is holding you back from hitting goals in life. And maybe it's weight loss goals, maybe it's health goals, maybe it's advancing in your career at work, maybe it's trying something new like public speaking. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. I mean, I used to be terrified of public speaking, but I knew to help more people, I got to learn how to do it, and I did. But anyways, that little voice, we can treat it like a pet rabbit. And this is kind of the analogy that he uses. He treats it like a little pet bunny. And, people walk around and they're like petting their little bunny. It's like, well, imaginary bunny, but they're petting it. And it's like, yeah, I didn't do this because of this and my kids, and I have dance recitals, and I would love to go and do this, but I can't. And usually your friends, and here's the thing, you tend to be the sum average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, okay? And think about that. You'll agree with me. You tend to be the sum average of the 5 closest people that you spend time with. And so most of those people you're talking to, they're like, oh, yeah, let me pet your rabbit with you. I totally agree, and they're petting your bunny. But then you have somebody like me who comes along, and I'm going to give it to you straight and say, that's a bunch of BS. Quit making excuses. There's no reason why you can't do this. If you want to grow and, achieve XYZ goal, cut it out. And then they're like, how dare you? You're fine. You're not going to pet my bunny, right? And they get all offended and they run off. And I know it's kind of a silly analogy, but really, a lot of us do that. And we always say in practice that the thing that holds most people back is just what's going on right here. It's a headspace issue. And from a chiropractic perspective, we talk about subluxations, pinched nerves, and you get pinched nerves in your neck and your back, and causes all kinds of interference and pain down the legs and numbness and tingling. We call it the subluxation between the ears. What's going on, in the 6 inches up here. So we're trying to, encourage people to start recognizing that little voice in your head and to not let it hold you back and keep you from achieving things in life. So common excuses we hear in practice, I don't have time to work out. I have 19 kids and counting. I have 3+ jobs, and it's the typical story, and I totally get it. We're busy. And a lot of excuses, I don't want to say that they're just flat out excuses. There's a lot of validity to some of these reasons of why, patients and people in general don't have time to do things. They do have a lot of kids. They do have, 3+ jobs or whatever it may be. But you have to make time for yourself. And if you're not making time for yourself and you're putting other priorities first, it's usually a priority issue. But if you're putting all these other priorities first, you're just driving yourself further and further and further into the ground. It may not be very quickly, but you're getting deeper as time goes on. And the next thing you know, you're chronically ill all the time because your immune system is crashed, your cortisol levels are sky high, you're missing work. Now you're not providing income for the family. And I'm not trying to make crazy, weird scenarios, but I mean, that's what happens with a lot of people. And then at some point, because you've been here taking care of all these other people and not taking care of yourself, now there's other people taking care of you. All right. So you have to make time for yourself. And, going on a walk daily, something really simple such as walking. If you have a gym membership, schedule time into your day to do it. Maybe you got to get up an hour earlier in the day. I mean, do it. You're making time for yourself. Maybe you need to cut one or two things out of your schedule that's not a gigantic priority. Get rid of those things and go do something active. Go on a walk around the neighborhood. Go to that yoga class that you've been wanting to go to for a long time. So you have to make time for yourself. Another common excuse that we hear is, I just did a video on meal replacement shakes and protein shakes. And I'll put a link down below, by the way. But, I don't want to do shakes because they don't taste good. I just don't like shakes. I'd rather just, do my coffee for breakfast and I'll do something for lunch and dinner, but I just don't want to do shakes. And it's like, okay, yeah, maybe you don't like shakes. And no matter how delicious the shake really might be, you just don't like them. I totally get that. There's validity. However, if it's going to help you hit some health goals, set up your day nutritionally so you have a bunch of energy, you don't have the crash in the middle of the day, it's going to help you lose a bunch of weight, pack on some muscle, you might not like the taste of it, but why in the heck would you not do it? Sometimes you got to get a little uncomfortable to hit your goals, all right? Another common excuse is, I don't like pills. I don't want to take any pills. I just absolutely don't want to take any pills. But that person's taking 5 or 10 prescription medications. And that aggravates me because your doctor can tell you, oh, I'm going to put you on simvastatin, lisinopril, and Zoloft and Effexor, whatever it might be. We usually don't question it. We're like, okay, cool. I'll go to the pharmacy on the way there. And then we get to the pharmacy and the medication's not ready yet. And we're like, why is the medication not ready yet? We're all aggravated. So the point being is that we'll shove whatever in our mouths that we want to shove it, that our doctor tells us to shove in there, even though it's nothing but chemicals. But we'll recommend something that's organic, non-GMO, solid nutrition, no artificial ingredients, stuff that's not going to interact with your medications. And I'm not saying, to quit taking your medications, but things that are not going to interact with your meds, that's going to get you healthy and it's going to give you more energy and you're going to be able to do more of the things you want to do. But they'll sit back and be like, I just don't like pills. I don't want to take any more pills. Or I need to go research this first. But they did no research on their medications. And so there's just all these little excuses that we can come up with to keep us from going further in life. And I think most people think to get to a goal or to hit success and whatever the definition of success may be for you, that it's this straight line, right? But if you stay in that little bubble, you're not going to get there. You got to go through a crap storm sometimes. Usually success, it starts out and then it's like all these squiggly lines and they're going up and down and all over the place. It's like this storm and then your goal. Then there's your success. So you got to get uncomfortable. Now, I'll close this out. About 10 years ago, I was terrified of public speaking. I absolutely wanted nothing to do with it. I was forced to do it in college, in high school. I would literally get physically ill 2-3 weeks before a speaking event at school. And actually the first time as a physician, when I decided to start doing corporate dinners and corporate lunch and learns, I knew that to get to my goal of helping more people, like truly helping people and getting them on the right path or stepping out on the right foot, that I had to talk to people. And I remember being physically ill, vomiting before my first public speaking gig. And so I was like, whatever, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to listen to this stupid voice that's telling me I can't do it. You can't do it. I did it. And I found that it was actually easier than what I thought it would be. And we helped a lot of people during that first event. I think we had over 60 people that we helped. I did my next event and it got easier. And I was like, still uncomfortable. And even to this day, I still get nervous. But I went on to start doing a lot of corporate lunch and learns. Even though I really didn't want to do them, I was just like, I don't like the feeling of this, but it got easier. And then I had the opportunity to go on radio, and I became one of the health experts for a hit music radio station here in Kansas City. And I was like, well, at least I'm not, physically in front of people. I'm on the radio. And so I did that, and I was still nervous, but it got easier. And then I got into doing a couple TV commercials. And then I got into a lot of the live morning shows. And I will say I love going on TV now. I love doing videos. I love public speaking, but I'd be lying to you if I said I still don't get a little nervous before I go on TV. You know, I'm like, oh, am I going to forget what I plan to say? Are they, you know, going to ask me some question? I have no idea what the answer is. I mean, there's always those things, but I don't let the little voice in my head try to hold me back. So think about that during the day today, and I'll close it out with that. So if you guys have any questions, call the number on the screen, shoot us an email, feel free to leave a comment down below. Again, my goal of this video is not to offend patients or make you feel bad, or, you know, that's not the goal of this, but I want you to really think about some areas in your life to where you can make some improvements, and you can start, you know, going to bed earlier at night, so you can actually get at least 7 hours of sleep and not 5 hours of sleep. You know, making time for, you know, more exercise, you know, actually being serious about eating cleaner foods. Yeah, maybe your McDonald's tastes delicious because of all the sugar and crap they put in there to make it addicting. But, you know, and yeah, maybe eating some healthier food at first is going to taste kind of bland, but it's good for you, and it's going to do so much more for you than all the processed food. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have a ton of videos on here. We're trying to talk about relevant topics to help our patients and to help you live better and healthier lives. So until next time, enjoy the videos. We'll talk to you soon.